Well, good Friday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Oh my goodness. You know what? It's Friday. It's Friday. Have you noticed how everything tastes better when we're talking about football season? You notice how the coffee, the aroma of the coffee is just that much better. The crispness in the air. Everything is better when there's football to talk about. I'm excited. It's Friday. Tonight, this evening, my man DMV is going to be in the house. He's going to be here with us because we're going to be setting us up for training camp and stuff. Come Monday, I will be landing in LA. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Los Angeles. And we'll be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday practice, as well as Wednesday is actually the team scrimmage as well. The team gets in pads on Monday, so that's where the fireworks start really happening, and I can't wait to see those one-on-one battles with the guys in the trenches. Oh my goodness, I'm happy. My wife, who doesn't like to throw anything away. You know, she's cleaning out some stuff and she's like, oh, I got some stuff that I need to make room for and everything else. And so under my steps here, I have a lot of stuff and I'm going through there trying to make some room and things. And I'm finding stuff in there that's been there for a while. I've literally found some of my original Joe Boo t-shirts where I used to have a guy make them up and stuff from 2014 and things, and other football paraphernalia that I just don't have space to do it. So we may be doing some special giveaways to you guys as I'm cleaning out my closet and getting ready for the season. So last night we heard that Kyler Murray, Kyler Murray, boy, I was going to do a little parody, but I couldn't get my wife to help me with this. But what I wanted her to do was I wanted to get her at the bottom of the steps, like mother, and get her to yell up the steps while I recorded. Kyler! Kyler! Put down that PlayStation. It's time for you to study. Literally. Well, the Cardinals, after putting this in the contract, have taken the study aspect out of the contract because they said it became, a big distraction and this, that, and the other. I dare say, if you were worried about this being a distraction, or if you were worried about him studying, then maybe you shouldn't have done the contract. And at this point, most of it had blown over, and now you've kind of rehashed it by saying, well, we took that out. Well, here's the question. Why did you feel the need that you had to put it in? You already insulted the guy. You did already put it in there. You've already let the world know that you don't think that he's spending enough time at trying to be an NFL quarterback. And if case of you're worried about whether or not he is doing enough, why do you give him the richest contract in football? But be that as it may, we've heard about the Cowboys putting in clauses and stuff with contracts and things. They've never had to put one of those ones that Dak Prescott, you need to put down the PlayStation and study more. They have not done that one. So that's actually really good to hear about my quarterback. All right, let's get on to some news. It's funny how sensitive the Eagle fans are. They're here and have been here living on my channel, constantly talking trash about the Cowboys and telling you how much we suck, even though we kicked their ass twice last year. The last time they beat the Cowboys, Ben DiNucci was playing, and that one wasn't like a blowout or anything. But be that as it may, they come in and talk so much trash about my team that if I say anything about the Eagles, they get butthurt. Now, my man, the mailman, Cone Boy, Brian Green, who was out delivering the mail, listening to one of the Philadelphia stations. The Eagles didn't practice yesterday, at least not fully. They basically did stretching for 58 minutes, okay? Somewhere in there, they say that practice number 3 or day number 3 is where a lot of the soft tissue injuries happen. And so, you know, the Eagles say, oh, it's day 3, so we won't do any practicing on that day. And one of the local radio stations, one of the hosts were actually talking about the Eagles saying, man, I can't believe they spent 58 minutes just doing some stretching and stuff and didn't practice. So I talked about that coming up the road about the Eagles, you know, rehashing what your people actually said. They're soft. They're scared to practice. They're worried about soft tissue injuries instead of going out there and saying, let's get this shit done. I talked about that. And man, I got all of these Eagle fans that are just descending on me. You're making shit up. You're a dude. First of all, why do you give a rat's ass about what I have to say? I am a diehard Dallas Cowboys homer talking about your team. Why should you even care? Are you trying to say I have credibility and what I say is gold? Anyway, I'm just going to leave that as it is, because for people that keeps talking smack about how good they are, you sure seem worried about the checks that you've written. Now, my man, Micah Parsons, who they say looks a little bit slimmer, looks a little bit faster, and is ready to take the next leap so far in practice. And again, we talking about practice, okay, without pads and stuff on and so on. He still looks like he looked good. He looked good. We have not heard things about Micah Parsons like we heard about Chase Young, that Chase Young was hanging out in the club, getting tipsy, chasing the girls, and not spending as much time working on his craft. He believed the hype too much and figured, hey, I'm rookie of the year. All I got to do is show up. This shit's easy. But not understanding that to stay there, you have to keep reinventing yourself. And that's what Micah Parsons is doing. And so Micah Parsons actually answering A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown. Let's listen to this.
I just laugh, you know. I'm not very big trash talker or anything like that, you know. It's just something to laugh at. I think, you know, that's the sport we play. It's a bunch of trash talking, and it's a physical sport, so why not, you know? Honestly, Franklin, I don't care who the Eagles trade for, who they don't trade for. I don't care anything about their organization. I can just control what we do in the Dallas Cowboys, you know, who we want to get on this team to help us win games and get to a Super Bowl. They could trade for whoever they want, but at the end of the day, you got to line up and play. You know, you got the best quarterback in the era, but you still got to line up and play, and he still has to play at a high level, and that's what this game's about. So they can get whoever they want, and the Dallas Cowboys will be lining up against them twice a year, and we'll be ready to play.
Wow. Got to line up against this 2 times a year, and I'll be ready to play. Yeah. Got to line up twice against them. And herein lies the problem for the Eagles. You know, they didn't have minicamp. They had less practices and OTAs, and they have a lot of new pieces that aren't necessarily getting on the field to actually practice. Could it be a little learning curve situation? But who knows? Again, I'm worried about my Cowboys. And today, they're going to ramp it up a little bit more as they start turning it up a little bit more in practice. And I can't wait to get some more of the details and things. Like I said, we may have a special guest along with DMV later on tonight. We're going to have a lot of coverage this evening. We're going to have fun. In fact, I might even take out some chicken wings, and we might even do a chicken wing challenge here tonight. Get some real hot wings with my man DMV. But with Cowboys, and I'll go into more players and stuff later on, looking at our defensive backfield, we're looking so much faster. Malik Hooker looks like he is truly 100% healed, and a guy who is really going to bring some heat for us and be that safety that we need. Jaron Kearse moving on the field, great. Hopefully he takes off from where he was. We know that Sam Williams right now is like a sponge and getting together. Our defense could be our best defense that we've had in a long time. What I really can't wait to see when I get to training camp is seeing the big guys, seeing that defensive front, seeing my man Neville Gallimore, seeing Osa, seeing Carlos Watkins, Quentin Bohannon, John Ridgway, and even Tristan Hill, because Tristan Hill got a lot to prove. Tristan Hill got a lot to prove. And we haven't heard about the big men just yet, but, that's really when the pads come on that we start hearing them. The question this morning, Mike McCarthy yesterday seemed a little bit testy about the questions. He's like, look, just give it a rest, basically, okay? Give it a rest. Let's go ahead and play the season out, and we'll see when shit happens. And that's my thing, is worrying never solves anything. The best thing you can do when you have a problem is, here's my plan and my solution to take care of that problem so that doesn't happen. You put full effort into that plan. And if that plan's not working, you evolve it, you change it, you come up with another plan. But if you sit there and say, oh, worries me, oh, I might get fired. Well, you know what? Do something about preventing that from happening. Worrying doesn't fix anything. Deal with the underlying issues that may cause the problem to arise, and you won't have the problem. All right. The Eagles, a lot of people think, are the NFC favorites. Let's go to ESPN and hear what they have to say about that.
I feel like earlier we were talking about, we're going to move on in a second, but RC, I feel like earlier we were talking about that he has McCarthy by default. I feel like this is Sean Payton's job. It's Sean Payton's job to lose, essentially. To kind of almost go back to what Fred's saying, like, okay, well, if they get to an NFC Championship game, then you're Jerry, like, well, if we had Sean Payton, maybe we would have got to the Super Bowl. Do you follow what I'm saying there?
Molly, if Sean Payton wants that Dallas job. That's if Sean. It might be a job out there that Sean Payton, because I'm going to tell you this, and I know I'm about to say it, and I know.
That's true. I guess I'm assuming they both want each other.
Because
that's what I'm
there's
assuming,
a Los Angeles Chargers team out there that if Brandon Staley don't make the playoffs, we might be talking about him soon. Because
Harry.
I'm pretty sure
Harry.
Sean Payton would take that job.
True. You want some warm weather site?
Stop it. Brandon Staley's going to be fine.
It's first take.
Don't do that. We can't give Sean Payton everybody's job. We're trying to give Sean Payton everybody's job. And as soon as Sean Payton wasn't the coach of the New Orleans Saints anymore, we were just like, it's going to be his job. He's going to be in Dallas. You have to realize that I believe two things have happened in Dallas. When Jerry Jones didn't want Jimmy Johnson, when he didn't want that strong-minded coach, and even after having Bill Parcells and them butting head, coaches have learned that Jerry Jones doesn't work well with a strong-minded coach. Jerry Jones doesn't work well with a coach that is going to take the shine off of him. What other team of the 32 teams do we show the press conference or the post-game locker room press conference of the owner before we show the coach?
Yeah.
Zero. It's the Dallas Cowboys. So as much as we think Sean Payton is the pretty piece and he's known Sean Payton and all of these things, the dynamics of that relationship will have to be worked out. Fred will have to be exactly right. Jerry will have to be staring at his ownership mortality and his true mortality and say, you know what? I now relinquish control of what I would never relinquish control of because I don't have a lot of time to win another one. Because if that doesn't happen, I don't think the relationship between Jerry Jones and Sean Payton works, even if they already have a previous relationship from Sean Payton coaching there as an assistant.
Interesting. All right, Harry, answer me this. Best team in the division?
Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles.
Easy.
You look at, listen, Nick Sirianni, they figured something out, right? When they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the first time around in the regular season, a light bulb went off in his head. You know what? Let's lean on this offensive line a little bit more. Let's run the football. At the end of the year, Molly, they became the #1 rushing team in the NFL. They have it offensive line-wise. They have it defensive line-wise. I like what they did in the NFL draft. They brought over A.J. Brown from the Tennessee Titans to give Jalen Hurts that #1 wide receiver, that big body guy that he can go up and just catch the ball over smaller DBs. So I think the Philadelphia Eagles right now are the team to beat in the NFC East.
Fred?
Hey, Molly, I disagree. Okay. I think the Dallas Cowboys will repeat as the NFC East champs. I mean, you still have Dak Prescott. He's hungry. I truly believe Ezekiel Elliott returns to form this season. Zeke's been off for a few years. He looks amazing in his offseason training videos. A few people that I talked to close to Zeke say he's extremely hungry and he believes this year will be his best season. So with that and the running game intact, that defense is lights out. I believe they truly have the Eagles' numbers as what they did to them in the final game of the season last year. They put up 50-plus points, and I don't think any of that's going to change. You know, I don't want to talk about the Giants or the Redskins. They're out of the picture. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys winning the East.
All right. RC?
Listen, the Cowboys, nobody repeats in the East anymore. It's just not how it happens. Somebody different wins every year. 2, the Philadelphia Eagles roster is stacked. Offensive line, maybe the best in football. Run game, top notch. Both running back and quarterbacks can make plays with their legs. Outside, you now have Devontae Smith. You have Dallas Goedert at the tight end, and you've added A.J. Brown. On the back end, bring in James Bradbury to pair with Darius Slay, who was lights out last season in man-to-man coverage and zone, making turnovers, scoring points. You add Jordan Davis to a line with Fletcher Cox. This team is absolutely stacked. And you've now made it where this is what the San Francisco 49ers have been under Kyle Shanahan. We don't need Aaron Rodgers. We don't need Patrick Mahomes. We need a good quarterback that can make enough plays. Jalen Hurts takes that next step. This team wins the NFC East.
Okay.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube.
So by listening to ESPN, the Cowboys got no chance in hell this season. Well, there's a reason why we actually play the games. I'm going to go through, just humor me now. Now, again, they have added some great pieces, but, you know, they'll talk about the Cowboys that, you know, garbage time. Garbage time. You know, Dak Prescott, he's really not that good. That really the Cowboys stink. Now, let's listen to this for a second here. Just humor me for a second. This was the Eagles last year. Okay? They beat the Falcons 32-6. Wow. They lost to the 49ers 17-11. They lost to us 41-21. They lost to the Chiefs 42-30. They beat the Panthers. Okay? They beat the Panthers 21-18. They lost to Tampa Bay 28-22. They lost to the Raiders 33-22. They destroyed the Lions 44-6. Is it conceivable? Because here's what I'm seeing right here. Most of the times when they've won, they've been blowouts against teams that stink. Because, see, people will say, oh, well, Dak Prescott's statistics aren't that good. They're not that good. No, because, you know, they feasted on bad teams. So beating the Lions 44-6 and beating the Falcons 32-6, that's not garbage time? They lost to the Chargers. They did beat the Broncos. Good job on that one. We didn't do that one. They beat the Saints 40-29. They beat the Giants. They beat the Jets 33-18. They beat the Commanders 27-17. They beat the Giants again 34-10. They beat the Commanders 20-16, and they lost to us. I understand what they're saying. You know, they made the playoffs, not discounting that. But where in there do you look at this as a quality signature game against a quality opponent? Giants 34-10. The Washington Commanders that were down most of their team. The Washington Commanders had 22 people on COVID protocol. They ended up getting a practice squad player the week of the game to play, and they only won 27-17. Beating the Jets 33-18. I guess you could say New Orleans 40-29 is probably that in Denver 30-13 would be the best two games they played. I mean, the Lions 44-6, although the Lions did have a lot of close games later on in the season. But when you start looking at those numbers, and they're going to have a soft schedule, They're going to have a soft schedule just like us. I'm not sure that they're as good as everybody makes them out to be. Now, they did add some great pieces, but we'll see how they play against good teams, because not a single win on there is a team with a winning record. Except maybe New Orleans was. Maybe I might be wrong in New Orleans, but New Orleans wasn't the same team down the stretch that they were early in the season. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys right now. I got to go back to cleaning out my closet and getting that place straightened out. But as always, you know how much I appreciate you, and football is back, baby. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.